following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, the guys discuss Week 5 NFL action and preview Week 6. They also answer a listener question and wrap things up with a round of trivia, continued from last week. All that and more. On to the show. Welcome to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 203. Y'all come on in, wipe your feet, close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glenf, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Thomas Stevens. Alvin Glenf, what's good with you, Pooh?
Man, you know what it is, man. Another day. I'm really enjoying it. A lot of things going on. I'm excited to get to another baseball game tomorrow and a football game on Thursday with my boys. So I'm just eager anticipating that, man. How are you?
Good, man. Good. The joys of fatherhood you got going on. Good stuff, man. Al, what's good?
Oh, man, I ain't complaining. Doing pretty good. It's good to be here. What's up, co-host? How y'all doing?
Good, man. Good.
Doing well, bro.
That's what's up. Good stuff.
No doubt. Usually we, do a little check-in over the last week or so, but it's something kind of came up in Vegas over the last week or so. I want to check in with y'all. Hoping y'all doing okay. Pooh, real quick, everything good with football and baseball with the boys?
Yeah, man, everything's doing well. Carter played up Friday night, man. I was extremely excited. He looked very, 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 very good. You know, he looked good out there on the field with the varsity. And Erickson, he's swinging away. He's swinging away, man, and running. It takes him I don't know why, but so his games are kind of late. When he gets home, he doesn't take a nap. So by the time we pull up at the game, he's asleep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to get him going out there, man. He's standing around and daddy is at baseball again today and all that kind of stuff because he's just waking up. So he's mad, cranky, and this will practice as well. So I got to try to figure something else out, man, to get him going into practice and into the game.
Yeah, man. Could be having a long day at work, man.
Yeah, true.
Right. How old is he? What level is he playing?
He's 6. He's coach's pitch.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Word. Al, everything been good with you over the last week?
Man, not bad, man. Can't complain. Had a good weekend. Had an interesting experience as we had a meet the parent experience as me and Gina went to meet our daughter's boyfriend's parents on Sunday.
How'd that go?
And so it went good. It went really good.
Okay.
We definitely had a good time. Definitely was some good fellowship and food was good. The father was a Cowboy fan, so that was really, brought us over there to watch the game. So, man, it was pretty,
So, what's funny? I saw your daughter's post on Facebook with this dude, and I refused to like it. So I mean, it was just like, nope, angry uncles can't like that post, Jay. It's the first post I seen this dude on. He got to win me.
Right.
And I was gonna ask you so I can get some background. See, now that you're saying you done met his parents. See if they, if they eat regular people food and drive regular people cars. Like I was just like, are they human? But you say you're a Cowboy fan, so you biased. So I gotta wait still.
I'm definitely biased, because instantly as I walked in with my cowboy gear, and he's standing in his DeMarcus Ware jersey, it was definitely an instant like real recognize real. Like, oh, see,
Lord.
that's how a Cowboy fan show up at my house. And I'm looking at him like, oh, see, that's how a Cowboy fan welcomed me into his house. What's up? And it was on from there.
Yeah, I gotta wait then. I can't like no pictures yet. If he done won you over with the Marcus Ware jerseys
Yeah,
and good food, I'm
they
like,
they suckered me in, son. It was a DeMarcus Ware jersey, and within 10 minutes of me being there, I had a drink and some wings.
oh man,
I'm just look. It's like a day I gave him the playbook. Like,
right.
here's what you need to do. Let's bring him over for a Cowboy game. Make sure you have on a DeMarcus Ware jersey on. Let's get some food. Yeah, have a little look at it for him. And you know what? If you really want to impress him, flatter him about his grilling. And all that happened within the first 7 minutes of me being there.
Well,
But nah, good guy. Originally from South Carolina, from Sumter.
and he was
And
like, man,
and okay, we just hit it off instantly.
he
bro.
might know Keto people.
Oh, she from Sumter, Sumter Rouse?
Yeah. She from that neck of the woods.
Okay. We'll have
Lord.
to check that out.
Well, the 30-day and/or 2-post new boyfriend probationary period for angry uncles restarts the clock. So
Yeah,
I
so
can't trust your opinion on this one.
I'm definitely biased. I ain't gonna lie. But brother, they play spades. He said next time you come out, feel free to hang out and spend the night. I mean, it was just like, you know how you feel like this is a cousin from Cleveland or something like that you just bump to at the family reunion. You're like, dang, this is going better than I expected. That's how it went.
All right. Well, congrats, man. 'Cause that don't happen often. So
Yeah,
good stuff.
real talk.
Seems like the boy come from good stock despite his choice of teams.
Let me just steal a
Well,
little
his daddy's
clarity because I
choice
don't
of
want
teams. Yeah.
right because I don't want to give him any extra props that he don't deserve because he has the misfortune of being a Falcon fan, the boyfriend.
All right. I mean, you came from. He grew up in Atlanta, so in
Yeah.
the Atlanta area. So at least I mean, some of our kids, I mean, become Steelers fans out of the blue when they Cowboys.
Out of the blue.
Just, but I ain't mad at that, of course. So, have I ever told you I love your son, by the way?
Yeah, I think you have mentioned it quite a bit over the last 20 years or so.
Oh man, well, good stuff, man. So before we get too crazy deep, because this is some stuff we got to talk about. There's some drama going on in Vegas. I'm sure y'all heard about. First, just want to give a quick shout out to our patrons. Anybody that supports us, supports the network. Salute to you. We appreciate it. If you want anybody out there wants to support, if you're kind enough to go to patreon.com/Go Defy Life, and you can support us on any level you choose, and we'd appreciate it. You can also find our podcast hub. Where you can hear us and all of the podcasts on the Defy Life Podcast Network at defylifepods.com, or you can just find us at your favorite podcast platform for the low at free $99. You can find our written content, anything from movie reviews, fantasy sports information, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff at godefylife.com. And if you want our branded apparel, hoodies, sweatshirts, leggings, all that stuff, joggers, anything, socks. You want it, you can get it at defylifegear.com. And that's about it. Al, did I cover everything?
My brother, like a Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder trilogy fight. It was rather riveting.
It was rather riveting. So, as I'm talking, well, the first time I mentioned Vegas, I was like, oh, we got to talk about the fight and we got to talk Raiders stuff because they in Vegas. Because, so there's a lot going on in Vegas right now.
A lot going on in Vegas.
But, Pooh, I know you, as you always say, you're not the boxing guru that Al is. So Al, our resident Defy Life boxing aficionado, what were your thoughts on the fight?
Man, I thought it was a classic, like a great fight.
Yeah.
It was one that, old school, new school, people will appreciate that fight. And it was one of those fights that you got a lot of respect for both fighters. You had a lot of respect for the ref, the way he refed. And at the end of the day, it was just a reminder in some sports, when you got a good big man and a good small man, yeah, in that sport, usually the good big man is going to win. And that's what you saw in that fight because Deontay hit him with some shots, took some amazing shots. Fight went back and forth, but at the end of the day, Tyson was just too big, too powerful, and
Right.
that's just what, to me, that was the difference.
Yeah. Definitely. I was talking to Keon, and Keon's the biggest Wilder fan in the world that I know,
Mm-hmm.
and that we all know. And so we've been back and forth over the last few weeks or so. And like he said, he was like, "Man, what did you think of the fight?" He's like, "Of course I'm biased." So he's like, "What did you think?" And same thing you said. That may have been the best, as far as heavyweights go. It may have been the best fight I've seen in 20 years. Just off the top of my head, without doing any major research. Like you said, and then how weird is that the dude that's, you mentioned the big man little thing, the little man thing, the dude that's 6'7", 240 is the little man.
Right.
So it's the nature of today's heavyweights. Pooh, did you see the fight?
Oh yeah. Wasn't gonna miss it.
Okay.
Wasn't gonna miss it. Keita and I, we were sitting front and center with our 5-stick loaded up, ready to go.
All right. What'd you think?
Man, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great fight. I thought it was it was the way a trilogy should be handled. A lot of the times a lot of them don't live up to the billing, but it was a great fight, and it went late into the rounds. It went late, and I know we were watching, and Keita kept saying, "Man, I've never seen a heavyweight like have this much energy late into the fight."
Right.
Like Fury did. Like she said, they need to check that kid water bottles. He's on something.
Hey,
Like,
that's funny.
No way he has that much energy. I was like, you know what? Come to think about it, you right. Like 7.5, 8 rounds, them boys dog tired almost.
Right. Especially for Fury to be, from the eye test, his butt coming out his pants, and he's not body beautiful by any means. So to see a guy that's that heavy, almost 280, still have that much energy, and that late in the fight, they were both exhausted, you could tell. But he was definitely more lively than Wilder. Like Wilder looked like, in the was the third, or was it one of the Ali Frazier fights? Might have been the first one. Nope, it wasn't, because Ali won that. It was the third one when Ali said he was in his corner, and it was like the 14th round, and when Frazier's corner threw in the towel. And Ali was like, "I'm glad they threw in the towel, because that's the closest I ever been to death." And that's how Wilder looked. Like he was just on, I don't know what was keeping him up. Like every round, 2-3 times per round, me and Lincoln was looking at the TV like, "Yeah, it's over. He done. He about to fall." And something was keeping him up. But that's what concerns me about Wilder moving forward, is without the motivation of beating this dude who's beat you now twice, and you've in one draw, without the motivation of beating him, what's next for Wilder? Like, can you continue to get up like that for someone who's not Tyson Fury? I don't know if he can. And so the concern moving forward is you might start seeing him, getting hit more, getting knocked out more, not as in shape, not as motivated, because his big fish is gone. So we'll see. And he's 35 already. So, but for what it's worth, this trilogies are rare in boxing, and when they happen, you hope they live up to the billing, and this one definitely did.
No doubt.
And then just a few days later, somebody decides to, and somebody's going through the investigation of the Washington football team and their emails with their old GM, Bruce Allen, and uncovers some emails of current Raiders coach, at the time, current Raiders head coach John Gruden, with some emails to Bruce Allen, in which he referred to DeMaurice Smith as having lips bigger than Michelin tires. And DeMaurice Smith is the NFLPA president. And, so it kind of steamrolled from there. It went from Gruden saying he doesn't have a blade of racism in his body. It, just something that he says in order, he refers to people that lie as having rubber lips. So that's where the tire comment came from. So he kind of explained his way out of that. I guess he was thinking that was it, that they was going to say, okay, stop looking for emails. But, investigators don't work that way. They kept looking for more stuff. And, of course, the more they look, they're going to find more recent emails. Those are from 10 years ago. And then they found emails as recent as 3 years ago, when he refers to Roger Goodell as a faggot and a non-football loving faggot. His words, not mine. And a whole bunch of misogynistic and anti and homophobic comments and just crazy stuff that you just, whether it's open or not, you just don't say in today's world. It just don't work that way. And now John Gruden is the former Vegas Raiders coach. I'll tell you before Cody, y'all, the one thing that stuck out to me, which is kind of the norm, when you say something about the black dude having big lips, you can explain your way out of that, but don't call the commissioner a faggot, because then you got to quit your job. So that kind of stuck out to me. But Pooh, what did you think about your boy JG Chucky?
Man, when I first heard about it, I was like, wow, this is resurfacing. Well, not resurfacing, but surfacing since 2011. Like, how bad could it be? So of course I was like, well, it can't be that bad. But so of course I play fantasy football, so now I'm like, this was on Thursday, I think Thursday, Friday. I said, you know what? Let me trade David Carr. I'm done. Let me get out of the Raiders organization because they about to be in disarray. John's gonna get fired. They're gonna pressure John. John's gonna get fired. So that's what I'm saying on like Thursday, right? Mm-hmm. Even that was before I really knew exactly what was said and whatnot. So I said, man, let me get out of that. Let me get out of that Raider organization. So now, things came out, and I was listening to Charlemagne, and he was just saying that, the derogatory things, the slurs, the connotations, the things about the women referees. And so I haven't read the article, but like I said, I heard, a few of these things, and I was like, man, John really didn't want to be in the NFL any longer to put that stuff in the email. Okay, he's right. Saying it to somebody. Saying it to someone is bad enough, but you put it in an email in black and white? Something that never goes away?
A string of emails, too.
Right. And I was like, it was just, he didn't want to he didn't want to be part of the NFL or ESPN or anything any longer. But I'm sure he thought it was dead and buried, from 2011. But man, it surfaced on it. It rose from the dead, and it came back to hunt him.
It did, and that's what's and it's not over yet, because I love both of you, and I consider us three to be really, really tight. But if it's something that's going to cost me my livelihood, I'm not emailing that shit to either one of you. I'm not that comfortable with either one of y'all that I know that this is never going to surface, right? So I want to know how, if he's that comfortable with Bruce Allen and they continue to go through Bruce's emails, what's going to start coming up from him and the other people who Bruce emails, how he receives emails. Like, it ain't over. It's just the beginning of this. So that's the one thing that stood out to me. Al, what were your thoughts with this Gruden mess?
I guess my thoughts were just that, as I really heard and read what he said in full context of it all, it was definitely um, it in today's world, you're not going to last another 24 hours. Like it was just, you can't offend that many groups of people, and it
Man, he went
from an
shotgun
owner
style.
from an owner perspective, think we're going to try to support him and just get him some counseling. No, when you go out like that and people find that much dirt on you, it's a wrap. The other thing I thought about was just the length of time we're talking about. That was a decade of ago, and it just, the thing that crossed my mind is just, is there such thing as a statute of limitations? Like, at what point in this day and age of, you know, you can get your livelihood taken away for offending somebody, is it too long? And I, not to say 10 years is, because 10 years is, it's not 10 years, ain't 20 years, not 30 years, not 40 years. 10 years is still fairly recent, but it ain't last week, it ain't last year. 10 years is still 10 years.
Right.
So just, that's what crossed my mind. Like, I wonder how long is too long.
And I think a lot of that depends on who you are and what you do. Like, and Antonio Brown called, and ironically enough, Mike Mayock, the GM of the Raiders, a cracker just two years ago, and he's still in the league, but he's a player. Coaches are held to a higher standard, so I think it depends on who you are, what you do.
I mean, I think it's who you are, what you do, who you like, what your race is, what your gender is, what your ethnicity is, what the race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation of the person you offend. I mean, I think it's all
and
of
how
those
many
variables.
you offend, like you said before.
Yeah. It's all of those variables that in today's algorithms get played in terms of how is this society, or how is this going to work against you, or how long you have to say I'm sorry, or is it even an I'm sorry situation, or you just fired. I just think it's, and I just, yeah, it's rough.
Well, yeah. Then they go out and lose the Pools Bears on Sunday. So good weekend for you, Pooh.
Oh yeah, we played well. I D played ferocious.
Yeah,
We
Khalil
absolutely
Mack
played
turned back the
ferocious.
clock.
Man, we played ferocious. And you know what? I said I wrote this dude off. I know it's not this time, but I wrote this dude off, and I buried him last year. But Quinn has came to play ball this year.
Yeah, Robert Quinn, player, man.
Bro, he was terrible last year. This year, you cannot keep him out the backfield. He's an animal. He's going to be a Pro Bowler this year. He's an animal this year.
Right, but like I remember you writing him off initially, and
Right.
me and Al said something. I don't know if you said, I don't know who initiated this part of the conversation, and I don't even know if you remember, but Robert Quinn's one of those players who operates best when he's not the number one pass rusher. And
Okay.
so with Matt kind of having a down year last year, Quinn wasn't going to be that guy because he's not able to feed off of and benefit from a guy like Mac. Just like he was in Dallas, he could benefit from DeMarcus Lawrence.
Right.
When he was with the Rams, he benefited from Leonard Little. So, they were, he's just not that guy. But when you can get him where he's not the one being double teamed or being schemed for, he shows
Right.
up. So, I like Quinn a lot in that role.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So speaking of which, I wanted to at least touch on that because I want to know what like we always ask, man. What do you know after Week 5 in the NFL? Al, you first.
Man, it was an interesting week. I know Kansas City's in trouble. I know that. I know Buffalo is the best team in the AFC, uh, probably in the NFL. And I really like what I see in Dallas. And in the words of my man Dennis Green, they are who I thought they are. You know what I mean? Like I really, for the first, what's crazy is they haven't always been who I thought they are. You know what I mean? Like I'll come into a season and I'll see potential and I'll see it, but for whatever reason, they don't play up to it. They might have injuries, but what's weird about the start of this season so far, they really have played up to their potential. And I think so much of that comes from leadership when you see teams playing that way. And usually in football, it comes from the leadership at the quarterback position. And I think what we are seeing is the development and evolution of Dak Prescott. I really, when this season and how they are performing so far is just going to, when it comes to the Cowboys, it's going to be the year of Dak. And I just think he's played within himself. And at times, when it's time to strike, he's doing what he needs to do. And to me, that's all we've asked of him, and that's kind of what we saw of him. But you just kind of, as a young quarterback, you just got to you got to wait for the growth and hope that he continues to progress. And so to me, like that's what this season is all about. The reason they are who I thought they are is because Dak is a better quarterback than he was this time last year. So shout out to Dak and shout out to the whole team. They just developing into a good, really, really good team playing consistently. Right. And I also think it's what you see is a couple of good drafts. There's some young talent that the last two drafts that is really showing out and playing some amazing roles along with the other players who are already on the roster. But between CeeDee Lamb, Diggs, Micah Parsons, I think they are examples of players that the last 2 years we've kind of hit on. So
Pollard, another one.
Yep, another one.
Yeah, I agree. And you mentioned Dak, and in the NFL, today's NFL, you go as your quarterback goes. And there's a calmness about Dak. When you kind of reach, we see it with every athlete that reaches an elite level, especially a quarterback. There's a calmness in his play and a quietness to his feet and his body as you watch him. And not saying, so he's kind of at that point now where, and I remember when Roethlisberger got to this point. Not saying he's the best quarterback in the league, but I wouldn't take anybody else over him if he's on my team. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody I'm looking at like, man, I wish we had that dude. Like, nah, I'm perfectly fine with my guy. So Dak is at that point for me, where I could see Cowboy fans, including you, just being content with that's our guy, and I don't even want nobody else.
And for all of those fans of teams with young quarterbacks, I think Dak is also, and all these young, when you see a quarterback begin their prime, it's to me, it's hopeful for the people who have young quarterbacks, and that, because we saw signs of this at Dak in his rookie year and the second, and, it just kept getting a little better, a little better, a little better, a little better. 4 or 5 years later, this dude has mastered his craft. Right. And so for all those fans of young quarterbacks, there's hope. You just kind of hope they continue to work at it and put the work in. The team builds around them and gets, has some good drafts. And you too could have a Dak on your team. But the cool thing about Dak is he's for the most part an easy guy to root for. And I think that has kind of pulled a lot of us Cowboy fans together because, many of us had a whole generation of Tony Romo where he was probably he was one of like those, you either love him or hate him type quarterbacks. Yeah. lot of Cowboy fans hated him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Romo was an easy target.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. I always say, man, that enjoy that window because it's definitely open as long as you got a quarterback there and he's healthy.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning. I thought it was last year, but he broke his leg. So
right.
this is the beginning of that window, and let's ride because if he is who we think he is, we got a shot in the next few years.
Yeah, he broke his leg, and so speaking of guys who have to deal with seeing Andy Dalton in their team jersey every week now, like you had to do last year. Pooh, what do you know after week 5 in the NFL?
Okay, hey, before I jump on that, I do want to say this to the guys that play fantasy on here. You don't have to dump or sell Derek Carr because I did some research and Gruden wasn't calling the plays. They have offensive coordinator. He's calling the plays, so you don't have to sell on Carr. The offense is going to be just fine. So I did want to just say that because I didn't sell on him. I did the research first. Yeah,
little fantasy tip of the week.
Right.
No doubt.
Right. So
fantasy beasts always alive and kicking.
Okay.
Right. So, man, my D is really playing ball. I know that. The man, I was hoping. No, I'm not even gonna get into that. So, before the draft, they had the Bears slated to take Kadarius Toney, right?
Mm.
So I was like, man, Kadarius Toney. Then I just went back and watched all this film. I said, you know what? I like Kadarius. Kadarius reminds me of Peter Ward with 4.38 speed.
Right. Instead of 4.83.
So right. So I've been talking about it. I've been hyping him up. I was like, nah, man, I'm telling y'all, Kadarius Toney, he when he get out there on the field, man, he's gonna be solid. Y'all gonna really like him. So he gets healthy. I look, he had 9 targets last week. Okay, with Shepard and Slayton out. So I picked him up this week and I played him. I say, you know what? Galladay, Trayvon Diggs. His name Trayvon Diggs, right? Trayvon's gonna be on Galladay like a cheap suit. So they're gonna have to. Kadarius gonna have to be the number 1 target, right? So I picked him up and I played him. Kadarius Toney is the real deal. Bro, I know it's been 1 game, but he looks like Peter Ward, and like the Peter Ward we thought that we were going to see in the NFL, like the things that he was doing in college, and like we never seen him do that on a pro field except on a punt return. Like he just couldn't get off coverage or anything.
Right.
It didn't matter who they put in front of Tony's face. They really couldn't do it. Put it here now. I'm gonna say it like this, man. I know. Kadarius Toney he's gonna be a special player. So I know
all that you say about Kadarius Toney. Sorry to cut you off, but I got it. Yeah, great player. From what we've seen from the last couple of weeks, we knew that coming into the draft he was special, talent wise.
Right.
But I can say this, like I said about many players before him who pulled this, the same action. He's stupid.
Oh yeah. What was he thinking?
I know he's
He's
stupid.
stupid.
Hey, what was he thinking? Okay, Jay, that's the twofer. We know that. We
right.
know.
At least we know that going in. He's crazy talented, but he's stupid. You punching dude with his helmet on? Really?
Hey, that was funny. Hey, Jay, he's stupid.
So now that we got that,
well of a game. He jumping out there and he goes smack a guy in the face.
Right.
With his helmet on, with a clenched fist. Like, what are you gonna do?
Like, dude. So we know he's stupid, but he can ball.
He can ball, man.
None of that is debatable.
He can ball like. Kadarius Toney gonna be solid, man. He gonna put it like this. And Galladay, I'm glad because we threw $40 million at Galladay, and he didn't take it. He ran for the hills with the Giants, and I'm ecstatic he didn't take it. You know, he can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
Can't stay
right.
healthy. He's back. He's injured again.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I appreciate about Kadarius Toney, you know, and I appreciate this from any wideout, is he runs angry. I like wideouts that run like running backs when they got the ball in
Right.
their hands. You know, Kadarius Toney runs angry. Like he always got a chip on his shoulder trying to prove a point with after every catch. So, you know, reminds me of a kind of a young, and not comparing with his players, but a young Amari Cooper in that sense. He just runs angry.
Okay. Okay.
So, but yeah, I like Kadarius Toney, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But you know who else I like? I thought you was going to get on his bandwagon, but I know you already are. Is the Mooney kid, y'all's receiver. The one that's getting like 90% of y'all's receiving yards.
Right. I love Mooney. You can't stay in front of him. He's I had no idea he was that fast. I remember you was telling me, he was like, nah, pull that kid can really run. But no, that kid can really run.
That
kid can really run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid can run.
Oh. Well, yeah, man. Well, good. So, I'll be really brief with mine. One thing I know after week 5 is it won't be long because their shelf life is so short. It won't be long before we're mentioning Najee Harris and the best running backs in the NFL conversation. That dude is legit.
He looks good. Man. He looks good.
And, you know, and just and we've all seen enough backs, you know, being Cowboys, Bears, and Steelers fans. We've seen great backs week in and week out. But the one thing you appreciate about truly elite backs, and even when they're young, before they're in that class yet, is them finding a way to make something out of nothing on every single run. I remember seeing it from a young Zeke Elliott, from a young Emmett, from Peyton when we got to watch him. You know, so I remember seeing it just from and others as well. I remember seeing it from a young, Jerome Bettis, Le'Veon. It don't matter. They can get hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and they always end up gaining 3 yards. I don't understand it. It never fails. But he's in that category where he always makes something happen, and I'm excited for what's gonna his future. Anytime you can, I know they say don't draft running backs in the first round, but anytime you get a talent like that at the 24th pick, I'll take it.
Right.
Yeah, he's nice. I like him.
No, he is. He is.
Yeah. So with that, week 5 is over. Pooh, what's the most? I know, and I sweep our unanimous pick as the most intriguing game last week for week 5 turned out to be a dud because the Bills beat shit out the Chiefs. And there were some good games, but week 6, man, Pooh, what's your most intriguing game for this week coming up?
Oh man, we play the Packers. We play the Packers, so that's enough said for me. We play the Pack.
Yeah, Bears Packers. Okay.
Yeah,
man.
Are you hopeful? What you calling?
No, I think we're gonna pull it, man. I really wish we had David Montgomery going. I think he's really turning into something special. But we don't have him. We got the kid Williams going. He's solid, but I think we're gonna be able to contend. I think we're gonna give their O-line fits, but I think they're gonna give our O-line fits as well. But I'm calling it, 2017 us, man.
Okay.
All right. And before I get to you, shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars who made history last weekend. Did y'all see what they did?
What they do?
The first team since the '79 Tampa Bay Bucks to lose 20 straight games. So
Wow.
shout out to the Jags, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
They talking about firing Urban Meyer, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's when they played the Browns, in Ohio, and he kind of stayed behind and he got caught on video getting a quick lap dance,
Getting groped.
right. So anytime you do that after a loss and your season ain't going so well, and your owners are pretty like high morale kind of guy, one of those dudes. They're gonna mention you and as on the pink slip possibilities, but he's still there.
Right. I know they're saying that he lied to him. That's what the owner saying. He lied to him and they can't trust him. So I mean, when you start getting those things hurled at you, pretty much the writing's on the wall. Then they got Trevor throwing the ball 50 times a game,
Right.
Instead of they got a great running back,
Mm-hmm.
and they just got Trevor throwing it 50. I mean, they've changed the last 2 weeks, but they really could have won the last 2 weeks if we ran the ball more and thrown it less. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to the job I had before I left Atlanta. My boss, he was a Florida Gators fan, and at the time I just took it as him just having sour grapes because Urban Meyer left and saying that it was because of he wanted to spend more time with his family, and then he took the job at Ohio State, and it was right when he took the job at Ohio State, and this dude was so angry, like he can't talk about Urban Meyer without turning red in the face. And he was say the same thing. I can't trust him. Ain't got to use his family as an excuse. Blah blah blah. I used to be like, man, these are sour grapes, man. That man just wanted to leave.
Right.
But like verbatim, a lot of the stuff that he would say is now coming up about Urban Meyer. Like he just, he's a snake. You can't trust him. But most guys that have that kind of power and influence over that long of a period, you can't trust them. So, shout out to Urban for his getting groped after a loss. I wish we all could. Take an L and get groped. Al, what's your most intriguing game for this week?
Well, I gotta shout out the Dallas New England game. You got Belichick and his history of messing up teams that are on a roll and messing with a quarterback. Be curious to see how the offense that Dallas has been running. We've been pretty productive all year. See how it looks against the Patriots. But the other game that really piques my interest is San Diego. Well, I'm going to keep calling these guys San Diego. LA Chargers and the Ravens.
Right.
And you just got, two of the up and coming, well, not up and coming because Lamar's MVP, just two of the best quarterbacks in the league this year. So looking forward to seeing what that looks like. Two young studs going at it.
Yeah, that should be fun. It's funny. We've had some good night games this year already, like Sunday night or Monday night, right? And Lincoln keeps it with his bedtime. He'll ask me, "Can I stay up and watch this one?" But every time he doesn't, it's always a great game. So last night he sees the scores. At the time it was 22-3. Ravens were down, and he was like, "Man, I'm going to bed." I woke up this morning and I was like, "Hey, guess what? The Ravens won that game last night." He was like, "What? Are you serious?" So, just kind of funny how this is working out. But that should be a good game, man, considering, the Chargers and the Browns combined for, 41 points in the second half of that game? Yesterday?
Wow.
Sunday?
Yeah.
And they just couldn't stop each other. And, the Ravens make that big comeback. So that should be fun. So I'm going to go with the other half. One, because I want Cleveland to lose, of course. But Arizona and Cleveland should be a fun game.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop Arizona right now on offense. And Cleveland can't stop anybody. So that should be a pretty fun game. but they were missing Jadeveon Clowney. Cleveland was last week. So if he's back, with him and Myles Garrett off the edges, that's always fun to watch. So, it's a lot of talent. Anytime there's that much talent on the field, on both sides of the ball, it should be fun. So that should be intriguing to me. But yeah, quick shout out to my Steelers. So I think of this year, we are on a tour of playing against teams that we want your quarterback in 2022. And it might be possible. We've already played Aaron Rodgers. And I think we showed enough to maybe, just maybe. We already know he wants out of Green Bay. So just give us a look. Think about us after the season. And now we get to play Seattle, and Russell Wilson's not playing. He had finger surgery. So he gets to really sit down and watch because he wanted out last offseason too. So if you want out again, Russ, come check us out. If you don't want your head coach all up in the videos, dancing, come to Pittsburgh. So we'll see. But yeah, so shout out to the Steelers and Seattle game. That should be a good one. Oh man. So listen to question this week. So I know we've had this conversation before of who our favorite athletes were of all time, and like most people, we kind of established those, most of them, when we were in our teens, early 20s, back when we were influenced by, their greatness, and they kind of stuck with us. But throwing that out the window, of our favorites all time, Derek from Charlotte. It's a damn good question. And Derek, I'm trying to think you might be a regular listener if you asked it this way. Derek wants to know, who are your top 3 current favorite athletes? Pull you first. Who are your top 3 current? Throw MJ and Peyton out the window, Barry Sanders. Forget them old dudes, man. Who's your current favorite athlete?
My current favorite athletes. Okay.
3 of them.
So I'm gonna go with basketball. I'm gonna go with the Durantula. I'm gonna go with Durantula 1. No specific order. I'm just all right. Durant, Alvin Kamara, and football. I love to watch that dude play, and so I'm gonna bounce back to basketball, and I'm gonna say Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine.
Really?
Yeah, because like no matter what, and I know it's Homerism. That's a word.
It is.
But
now,
like, right. But like I always, if my team has a really good ball player, like he's always like my most favorite player in the league. So he's my favorite player in the league.
Okay. Gotcha.
But Kevin Durant. I love to watch Kevin Durant play basketball.
Okay.
So I gave 3, right? Yeah, I gave 3. Because I don't have basketball.
Why Zach LaVine?
Oh, because he plays for the Bulls and he's improving a lot every year. And I've been watching preseason. He's improving even more. So like I say, when my team has a really good player, I want to see every game of that player. So I'm a real true at the root fan.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Nothing wrong with that.
All right. Oh, all right. So Derek, there's Pool's 3. Al, who's your favorite 3 current athletes? Right? Forget Tony Dorsett and Emmitt Smith and all them old heads you be liking.
Them old heads.
Johnson. Forget them old heads, man. Who your current favorites?
My current folk. Who I'm riding with. I'm Dak Prescott is one. But I'm not even gonna put him on my list because I already mentioned him tonight. So we're not mentioning him. Let's leave him off. He's not one no more. Stop that. CeeDee Lamb is 1. Kyler Murray is 2. Really like the way he plays. And then let's go hoops. I think hoop wise, I really like um who do I really like? I really like Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Um yeah, I like the way he plays. Um Even though I'm not a Celtic fan, but I do when uh I do find myself pulling for him when he's playing.
Okay.
And just an honorable mention, I like John Morant too.
Yeah, John's nice.
Hmm
All right. All right. So we got Dak. We already talked about him. So Dak but
Right.
not Dak. And then we got John Morant and honorable mention. So Ja but not Ja.
Right, right, right.
Right. Okay. And then so we got Kyler Murray was 2. Who was 1?
CeeDee Lamb,
CeeDee Lamb, Kyler Murray, and well,
Jason Tatum.
and Jason Tatum. Damn, not a bad list. Okay. Oh, all right, Derek. Those are Al's. Y'all got some damn good names up here. It's weird because, like, when you're young, you have this affinity for players, right? And when you're a teenager, when you young, you just like. And when we were young, we didn't have the access to personalities and players like we do now. So you kind of have this mythical quality about players. So it's weird. So I'm gonna leave LeBron off of this because everybody knows my affinity for LeBron, and LeBron ain't really young no more. He is current, but he ain't a young head. And I'm kind of in a spot now where I remember when Shaq retired, and I was looking for my next favorite player. So it's kind of like moving on from Barkley to Larry Johnson to Shaq to LeBron. Now I'm in a spot where I don't know who that guy is. So the guy at the top of my list right now, and he just edging out Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, no, just because I hate the Celtics. I'll go with Zion. And if you notice, every dude on my basketball list is a big dude, so I gotta go with Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
So I put Zion on my list, and the other two. I mean, they're gonna have to be Steelers, I guess, at this point. Because so I'll go with Chase Claypool. One of the. I don't even think he knows how good he can be. He's that talented. So I go with Chase Claypool and Cam Hayward are my other two. So
I like Cam too.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. A little more analytical than heartfelt at this point because you got reasons for liking players now. It used to be that you had a feeling. Now players don't give you but it's it's always good to have favorites. So Derek, thanks for that question, man. Made me think a little bit.
And when you mentioned feeling, you did kind of drum up. I can't believe, and I would really give up one of my players to add this guy because I was like, I can't believe I forgot this dude, Russell Wilson.
Okay.
I've always liked Russell Wilson from like his draft interviews where I'm learning about this guy. Like, I kind of like this dude.
Yeah.
And the way he has played and performed, and Russell Wilson's another guy.
Well, yeah, another one. Again, so if you talk to your guy, tell him to come to Pittsburgh next year. We'd love to have him.
I'll see what I can do. I'll send him a text right now, actually.
Appreciate that. Oh, man. Appreciate the question, Derek. Y'all keep sending us these questions. They are very fun. We'll look forward to them every week. If you just want to know something about us or what we're thinking or add something to the show or you disagree with something we say, man, hit us up on our social media and all platforms at Go Defy Life, or you can email us at info@godefylife.com. Oh, man. I feel like there's an echo chamber in here. Because I feel like I just asked this question last week. It should be somebody else's turn, but somebody can't get these questions right. So, y'all ready for some trivia?
Yeah, man. Let's get this up in the air, man.
Oh, man. I guess we're going to talk about some more Bears and Bulls and Knicks and Cowboys this week. Figure out where these dudes got their education at.
Let's try it again.
All right. Who was first last week?
I think
Al was first.
I think
right?
I think I went first.
All right. So we'll switch. Pooh, you go first this week. Same rules apply. We'll keep going back and forth. Pooh, you miss one. Al has to get his right in order to win. And we'll also, same and reverse. If Al gets one wrong, Pooh, you have to get one right, your next one right in order to win. Okay? All right. Pooh, who we going with? Bulls or Bears?
Ew, Bears. Yeah, Bears.
Bears. Okay. I'm going to start off and give y'all a fairly easy one. At least you say you wanted them new. We just talked about him. Darnell Mooney. Where'd he go to school?
Tulane, right?
Tulane is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Get y'all's confidence up. Get you a
Yeah.
little bubble screen out to the right. Get your confidence up.
Thank you. Get our rhythm going.
Right. Get you on the free throw line. Let you see one go in first. All right.
Okay.
Oh man. Let's see. Oh, I know who I want this one. All right. Al, Michael Gallup. Where did he go to school?
Oh, I don't get to say Dallas or to Knicks.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
get to-
You can go either one. I'm sorry. I just assumed.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right because I think I know that one. So I'm gonna take it.
Okay. All right.
Colorado State.
Colorado State is correct.
Okay,
Yes. And didn't realize he's from Atlanta.
Oh wow.
I didn't know that either.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pooh, where we going? Bulls or Bears?
I'm gonna stay with the Bears, man.
Stay with the Bears.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to a guy who's a bit of a legend. If you are a Bear, you know how good this dude was. Alonzo Spellman.
Alonzo Spellman.
Alonzo Spellman was Julius Peppers before Julius Peppers.
Yeah, he played. Alonzo played in the Big Ten. Dang, I can't remember, man.
4,
But I'm gonna say
2, 1.
Ohio State.
Ohio State is correct. Good guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Al, Knicks or Cowboys?
I'll stay Cowboys.
Let's stay Cowboys. All right. All right. Another guy. If you were a Cowboys fan, you know how good this dude was. Tony Casillas.
Oklahoma.
Tony Casillas went to Oklahoma. Yes. See, get your confidence up for.
I appreciate it.
Before I put you on the line and run some suicides. Pooh,
right.
where we going?
Here we go. Get ready, Pooh.
So we got no young boys or people. Let me get my young people with the Bulls. Let me get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. DeMar DeRozan, where did he go to school?
Oh, then DeRozan go to.
5,
Damn.
4,
Oh man, I can't remember.
2.
I'm gonna say San Diego State, but I know it's out there, but that's not it. God, what is it?
UCLA.
He's a Trojan. Southern Cal.
USC.
Oh, USC. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said San Diego State. I know.
Okay. Al can swoop in for the win.
All right. All right, Al, where we going?
I'm gonna follow and go with the Knicks.
All right. Let's see. What we want to go with here. All right. So the Knicks, we'll give you a young guy. We're going to go. Well, a current guy. Nerlens Noel.
Went to Kentucky.
Kentucky is right for the win. Good job.
Dun, 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 dun.
Former Philadelphia Sixer Trust the Process member, Nerlens Noel. Congrats.
Fortunately, half the current Knicks went to Kentucky.
Right, that's what I kept looking at like, damn.
It was 50-50. You know what? Go with Kentucky. He got a good shot. Nah, I remember him being an early pick with that Trust the Process.
All right. Oh, man. Well, congrats, man. It only took you a show and a half to do it.
Right.
Man, breaking records, the longest trivia game
Right.
ever in Defy Life.
Oh, man. Yeah, even the one we had like 6 hosts didn't take that long.
Okay.
Oh, man. Good job, though. Way to come out prepared.
Right.
Yeah, man. That's it, y'all. Pooh, you got a
Big
parting
one,
shot
big
for
game.
me?
Man, this right here was a slugfest, man. I actually feel like I've been in a heavyweight fight.
Oh, man.
It lasts for a week, but nah, man, I appreciate them. Like I said, I'm just eager to get out there, watch the guys play, watch this Bears Green Bay game, and the Zona, the Zona game. So I'm just football, man. I just the NFL, man. I love it.
No doubt.
I love it. Hey, and you know what, man? John Gruden, man, I really didn't see that on him. Yeah, I mean, I knew that he could be a prick and a dickhead, but like things like that, like I really didn't. I didn't see it in him, but of course it could be in anyone. You know what I mean?
All right.
But I just wanted to put that out, yo. Peace.
No doubt. Yeah, especially around amongst those we're most comfortable with. Yeah, man. Al, what say you? You got a parting shot for me?
Nah, man. Everybody have a good week. I guess my party shot is just looking forward to the start of these new seasons with NHL and particularly the NBA coming. You got the Knicks with a revamped roster, and Kemba Walker looks good.
Yeah.
And shout out to one of our former Six hosts, Money, who used to show a lot of love to Kemba Walker. Once he left, I know he was a little upset because he was talking about how much Walker was the heart and soul of that team, and he's looked pretty good this year. So, looking forward to the Knicks and see what they got going on this year.
Shout out to Kemba. Yeah, man. I ain't got nothing crazy, but just a warning to the rest of the NBA. Skinny Bron is back. When Skinny Bron is in the league, it's about to be some trouble. Every year Skinny Bron has shown up that first year. There's been a championship in his future, and immediately. So y'all watch out for Skinny Bron. Skinny Bron is like Fat Luther, so it's over for the rest
Watch out! Watch out!
So, oh man, it's been great, y'all. As usual, enjoyed you guys. It's been episode 203 of the Defy Life podcast. We'll talk to y'all next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.